This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Hey, welcome on to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I am meteorologist Evan Thomason. Welcome on to the show. Oh my goodness, weather podcast here for the day. It is Wednesday. Welcome on to Hump Day. I know I'm starting a little bit early, a minute and a half early, but we got a lot to get to. And we got something coming up at 11. We got Arklatext Artistry with Brittany Hazelton. For those of you looking forward to that stream, that'll be on 11 o'clock on the KSLA.com live stream. So the point is, we got to hop off here so that she can do her own thing at 11 o'clock. So, yes, on top of that, we have a lot to get to between the forecasts, lots of important things coming up, a.k.a. Mardi Gras. Hey, hopefully you're headed out to some parades here for this weekend because it looks overall great. Fantastic. Best thing to have along with some Mardi Gras parades is to have some good weather for it. I believe we do have that on tap for not just Gemini this Saturday, but also for Highland this Sunday. I should be going out to both this weekend. Excited to get my first dosage of Arklatext Mardi Gras parades in the 318. Hey, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Welcome on again. I'm meteorologist Evan Thompson. I have too much fun in the mornings, or too much fun. Depends on who you ask. So, yes, anyways, welcome on. Let's get to the rundown of what we're going here for today because we got a lot to get to. We have a Met Chat, which usually takes up a good chunk of the podcast here, especially on a day like today where we got to hop off before 11 o'clock. And we're talking about Mount Washington today. Mount Washington, New Hampshire, kind of one of the weather wonders of the world. Certainly one of the most famous weather wonders in all of North America and the United States as well. Essentially what this place is it records some very rare extreme weather events, mainly because it's a mountain up in the Northeast, and a big one at that. We go into some of the details of why and some of the extremes a little later on in the Met Chat that I won't spoil just yet. But for our local forecast, we are staying first alert in tracking a weak cold front that's going to be moving through here for tonight and into tomorrow morning. I really want to stress the word weak. It is a cold front. Yes, there will be a temperature drop. Yes, there will be some rain coming on through. But both are looking insignificant. Looking, both are looking pretty minor impacts overall. No severe weather. Certainly none of that here from tonight and into tomorrow morning. So those of you just getting on at 10:30, again, welcome all into our First Alert Weather Breakdown weather podcast. Essentially, it's just the weather on your news show, expanded and stretched out like that slinky that you have at home. The slinky in its normal form is just a slinky on its own. But if you pull it, it can be extended back as far as you can make it. That's the point here. We go into the weather basically all in depth. We also show you some graphics that we don't, or at least I don't show you on some of my weather shows. I don't have time to. So we do it here on the First Alert Weather Breakdown. That's the point. All right, so let's get into the forecast here for the day today. So, live look at our window world camera as I'm getting control of my graphics. You can see the abundant blue skies and sunshine ahead for us again here today. That is great to see. Great to hear. Great to be outside for. I'm losing words for it. But essentially, the big change between yesterday and today is that we dropped the fog. No dense fog advisory was in effect this morning. And so you got to actually see some of those sunrises in this morning. Probably not the case for tomorrow morning with the weak cold front coming through, but hopefully by Friday morning you'll be able to catch it once again, and that'll be great. Last thing before I continue on in the forecast, if you want to leave like a little note down about our weather forecast, and I'm going to be going over this a little more quickly than I want to. Again, that's because I got to get to the Met Chat, and then we got to get to off the stream again by 11 o'clock, as I keep mentioning. You have any questions, YouTube, or you can I'll try to expand this forecast a lot more here for tomorrow. But we got a lot to get to. Current conditions all around the Arklatext. We got temperatures in the mid 50s to lower 60s. 62 in Marshall already, 57 in Shreveport. There's the cold front. There's the low pressure system. It's a little farther east than what's shown actually on that map. Not gonna lie, forgot to update that. The point is, it's in the middle part of the central part of the country here, and it's continuing to move south and east. And if you look at it real closely, it doesn't look all that impressive. It's not really that huge, and most of the moisture is actually way off to our north. That's the point. It's a weak system, again, as I keep describing it, and it's just going to cool us down barely, just by a few degrees between today and tomorrow. So today's highs, 78 in Texarkana, 74 in Foreman, 70 in Broken Bow. In East Texas, it'll be 75 in Carthage, 74 in Nacogdoches, 77 in Dangerfield. Northwest Louisiana, got 75 for Natchitoches, 76 in Shreveport as well. Tomorrow morning, it stays warm. In fact, we're expecting warmer temperatures here for tomorrow morning. With that dense cloud cover around, it's actually going to help maintain and keep us warm, like a blanket. Tuck it on top of yourself and keep you nice and warm and cozy. That's essentially what's happening to our atmosphere here for tomorrow morning. So, yeah, lows only getting down to the mid-50s here to wake up for your Thursday. Then we get cooler. Highs will be down into the upper 60s, lower 70s for Thursday, and those low temperatures for Friday morning, getting a little more chilly. Might need to get the heavy coat back out for that morning, I will say. As for the future track, again, we're staying first alert about a few rain showers with this system, but only a few. There they are, starting to pop up along the I-30 corridor. Really note the time, though, 11 p.m. tonight. That's going to continue to move in the I-20 corridor pretty much into the overnight hours tonight. And by the early morning of tomorrow, it's attacking a little bit of the southern part of the Arklatex, but honestly, it's, a weak system. It's not going to do too much of attacking, so to speak. There could be moments of some brief downpours late tonight into early tomorrow, but it's, again, just a stray few showers possible with this system that's coming on through. Once we get past the system, we are raining free with the sunshine into Friday, and then most importantly, into the weekend. Saturday looks beautiful. Sunday looks mostly beautiful. I will note, this is late on Sunday. Keep in mind the time, Sunday at 6 p.m., we do pose maybe the slimmest chance of rain creeping in with the next system. That could look to come in mainly into the northern half of the Arklatex for Sunday night. If any rain's going to happen at all over the course of the entire weekend, it's going to happen Sunday night. That's eventually going to lead us into our next major chance of rain, which is coming on Tuesday. You see, it's definitely prominent in the Arklatex for Tuesday afternoon. In fact, I want you to ignore that little green shade there because for some reason I can't get this graphic to save with just the yellow shade. Pay attention to the yellow shade. The yellow shade holds our chance of severe weather for Tuesday. The fact that the Storm Prediction Center is already putting a Storm Prediction Center, let me rephrase everything there. The fact that the Storm Prediction Center is already giving us a chance of severe weather almost 6 to 7 days out is not good news. Honestly, it's a little concerning. Not going to lie. The good news is that we have 6 to 7 days out to try and track it actively. So be weather aware here for next week. Yes, we do have severe weather most likely coming back with our next round of widespread storms. But again, this doesn't happen until next Tuesday. Doesn't happen at the end of this week. And most importantly, again, this does not happen this weekend. Saturday, beautiful, warm. Next, Sunday, beautiful, warm for both parades, for Gemini and Highland. Again, if it's raining at all this weekend, it's going to be Sunday night at the tail end of the crew of Highland. Even then, I don't see much. I think most of it's going to hold off until Monday, and pretty much all of it's going to hold off until Monday and Tuesday. All right, so for the weekend, to recap, it's going to be slightly cooler on Sunday, but overall, sun's going to be out both days. Again, that 20% rain chance on for Sunday is just in effect for Sunday night only. 7-day forecast, highs are in the 70s. And again, it's nice and dry here for the next 5 days here for the most part. 10% rain chance again for late tonight into tomorrow morning. And then we got scattered storms expected next Tuesday. We will keep you first alert about that chance of severe weather early next week. All right, we're going to toss a break real quick. Then we're going to hop onto a Met Chat. And then I'm going to quickly say goodbye before Arklatext Artistry will be up at 11 o'clock. Enjoy the Met Chat. That recording will start after this 2-minute break. Enjoy me, CJ, Austin, and Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones. We'll be back after this.
Hey, welcome on. It's the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason, joined by Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones, Meteorologist CJ Cartledge, and also Meteorologist Austin Evans as well. Welcome on. Thanks for joining us. Last week of February now. We've seen some significant weather events kind of around the Arctotex, while the Arctotex stays, I guess, nice and calm this week, so to speak. Literally we're recording this on Tuesday. Just now in the First Alert Weather Breakdown, I've seen some flash flooding in Key West, but I think the more important thing was we saw, I think, the first ever tornado warning in South Dakota in the month of February yesterday.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah,
wild.
presenting the funnel cloud and everything. So I was just like, wow, I gotta
Same
share
areas,
this.
same areas that had minus 50-degree wind chills like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
That's the main point. Just how crazy and how wild, and I guess how quickly the weather can change like that on a dime. But that's not our main focus here
Why
for
we
today.
study weather, not climate.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Our main weather concern here for today, I guess, kind of surrounds kind of an extreme weather standpoint. We're taking a look at something, I guess, that doesn't get talked about as often as you might think, and that is a site called Mount Washington, New Hampshire. I believe it's in New Hampshire. Mountain that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb in the northeast part of the United States. I believe it is the tallest mountain in the northeast part of the United States. The reason why we want to talk about this is because this usually holds a lot of our weather records for certain reasons, especially because it's so tall and it really gets cold and windy. Could you say as well, especially for winter, you can confirm or deny this, you could say it's almost like a pocket of like the Arctic air, or a partic of the or like a cutout of the Arctic Circle, just like placed in New Hampshire?
Could be.
I guess you could, yeah. Yeah.
It definitely could be, since most of the year it encounters temperatures near or below freezing, like how it is right now.
Yeah. And it's a pretty extreme place. I mean, they have the observation tower there, and meteorologists love to go up there just to like nerd out and like, get their picture taken and 100-mile-an-hour winds and all this stuff. I've seen like a lot of meteorologists that go up there and they'll get the iconic picture of them like tilted like this, but the wind's like pushing them, you know what I mean? So people like us, like weather nerds, like to go up there just to. I don't personally. I would not. I could. Don't want to go up there.
Afraid you'll get blown away.
Yeah.
You'll get blown off the observation deck. But yeah, it's one of those legendary spots that weather people talk about. It's not necessarily, unless you live there and get it, that it's not really discussed. But I went to their NWS forecast page, which pretty much every city has one, and every single forecast like period just says windy on it. It's windy, like down the whole line. And I checked. I can't remember the current wind speed, but it was substantial, and the temperature low. And it's one of those places that, and I believe it has a very significant history in observations there, dating back deep into the 1800s. I think, as was mentioned last week when we brought it up briefly, it has a rather grim record as well. People have historically been blown off the mountain by the wind, on top of it being just ridiculously cold because of the wind and the freezing fog that often happens there. Everything gets frozen over in ice. There are webcams that they have set up. There's a nonprofit that wants to preserve how important it is to meteorology, and you can watch some webcams and stuff right now. There's still some snow on the observation deck, but it's been cleared off, but it's also been completely iced over before. It looks like kind of looks like a water no, what are they called? Lighthouse that gets frozen in ice, on like Lake Superior or something. And it looks like that kind of, but it's not in a lake. It's a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. One of my friends from college, her name is Maya. She actually did an internship at Mount Washington in summer of 2023, and the highest temperature that she ever saw that entire summer was in the lower 40s. I believe it was in the lower 40s. I think their all-time temperature record high is like 52 or something like
Oh my
that.
gosh, that's the warmest.
That's the warmest
Still,
it's ever been on that mountain.
still the wind chill would still be like 30
Right.
Exactly.
But,
at
you know,
52.
as Austin was saying, it's a very important site just for meteorology and collecting really important data and for record keeping and stuff like that. So it's really important.
It's essential. I think one of the best ways to describe that I just thought in my head is you know how like Yellowstone is like one of the best like geological natures of the world. I think Mount Washington is one of like the best like atmospheric wonders of the world, so to speak. Pretty cool and intriguing to see. Again, temperatures that low as record highs. Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so it's
But you know,
incredibly.
like
It's
something,
one of those.
something like,
It's
oh, go ahead,
perfectly
Austin.
placed. It's
Something
perfectly
that's been
placed. So
interesting to me,
that's my bad.
some something that's always been very interesting to me is the fact that Mount Washington is only like 6,200 feet, right? And it gets all these extreme winds and extreme wind chills, and yet I grew up in Colorado, and there's 14,000-foot peaks all over the place, and you don't even get those extremes at 14,000 feet. So why are we getting them at an elevation literally half that in the Northeast? You know what I'm saying? It's interesting that Mount Washington's so much shorter in elevation, like smaller than our Colorado mountains and Rockies, but yet it gets these extremes. And maybe it's just because there's no observation sites at some of those taller peaks. I'm not sure, but it's very interesting.
Well, it doesn't help that a lot of the Rockies, especially Colorado, New Hampshire is quite a bit farther north. Maybe closer to the jet stream, more year
Yep,
round,
I think
perhaps.
so.
Um,
Yep.
and we're just spitballing off, the concepts of it. It's far like it's farther north. It's just a perfectly. It's one of those things that happen, and the United States has like three perfect weather scenarios. We get hit by hurricanes all the time because we're perfectly placed in the Atlantic. The United States is not exclusively, and we know that, but almost exclusive where tornadoes happen uh, because of the plains, and we got Mount Washington where these ridiculous wind speeds and ludicrous wind chills are measured pretty much year round. No other place on Earth does that,
Mm.
with maybe the exception of Antarctica and the 15 people that are there. So it's not like there's a significant population there. So it's an oddball, but and you can see why it excites weather nerds.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thought I guess I have about this is the Appalachian or the Appalachians. Those
Appalachian.
only, okay, yeah. Those only go through what is it? Tennessee, North Carolina, West Virginia,
The
Virginia.
mountain range actually extends pretty deep into like upstate New York. The hills in upstate New
Hmm.
York are technically part of the Appalachian mountain range. It's just they are so weathered down that
Mm.
Yeah.
can you consider them, especially that far north and eastern Kentucky, eastern Tennessee, Virginia? They still got some teeth to the mountains, even though they are very old.
Hmm.
But the farther north you go, technically part of the mountain range, but even more weathered down. And plus, you got the glacier situation that created the Finger Lakes and whatnot. Um, so I don't know if it's technically part of the mountain range, but I do know the Appalachian does extend farther north than even I thought until a few years ago. It extends farther north than you think usually, and you don't when you think Appalachian and Appalachian culture, you're not thinking about New York. You're thinking about Western Virginia, Eastern Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky. So
Hmm.
yeah, one of those odd things that you don't really think about until you look into it.
There's some good foothills that all the way that go all the way down into North Georgia as well. It's a
Mhm.
long mountain range, even though it's not definitely not as significant, not as tall as the Rockies out west. But still significant nevertheless. But I'm glad we saw eye to eye on what I was about to discuss. Is like, do does that mountain range really go that far north?
Um,
But yeah,
yeah, and the Rockies are children compared to the Appalachian
Yeah,
Mountains
much younger.
in terms of age.
Hmm.
One day the Rockies will be weathered down to the current Appalachian standards, but by then it might be plains out in eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, you never know.
We'll see. Weather's crazy. All right. Well, that was our discussion on Mount Washington. Just lastly, a quick. Well, I'll ask this, I guess, at the end. But let's get into our Ask Text question. This is essentially where we ask our three contestants a trivia question at the end of every Met chat. What's the scoreboard today? I think Matt got the last one right on the dot. He's up to 2. CJ's up to 2, and Austin I think still is at 1. So yes, let's get into today's questions. Basically, a trivia question that the other 3 peeps answer, and whoever gets it closest via a number, it's basically Price is Right. The closer you get to the answer, you get the answer correct. All right. So, I believe the United States, the record for the greatest wind speed ever recorded in the United States was on Mount Washington. Believe it or not. What was that wind speed? What was that wind speed? What is the greatest?
Is there a qualifier to it? Like, is this like non-convective or
Wind gust,
just
I
in
should say.
general?
I believe it
Okay.
was wind gust.
On Mount Washington?
Yes,
So you're asking what the strongest wind gust was recorded ever on Mount Washington?
correct.
I'm going to say 230 miles an hour.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 180.
That's
Might
way
be
up.
too low though.
Okay. Austin,
210.
210. CJ, you're perplexed. Do you want to change at all?
Are you looking at your screen looking for the answer?
I promise you I'm
I
not.
thought I saw your eyes.
He's
I
getting,
promise you I'm not.
he's getting.
I said 180 last time. I know that last week they hit 161 and that wasn't even a record. So it's got to be up there. I would say I'm gonna say 185. 185.
Okay, 185. Well, Matt, you've done it again. You didn't get it on the
Bro.
dot, but it was 231 miles an hour.
Oh.
Dang.
Oh.
That is, oh my gosh, 200
How do
miles an
you-
hour.
How do you
And
stand
there
up?
is the potential that there was no storm involved in that.
Probably not. Probably like jet stream. Well, maybe like just a jet stream event, or
Or a quick snow squall, if you can call that a
something,
snow squall.
or a bomb cyclone. We can talk about that.
Oh,
Last
when
thing we'll
none
leave off.
other people create words.
Also, I did want to say that was recorded back in 1934. I don't know who recorded that then, who didn't blow off the mountain, but
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know.
Holding it up and hoping for the best.
Oh my God.
gosh.
Just for reference, like Cat 5 hurricane winds are what, like 160 to 180 miles an hour, right?
I think something like that. Yeah. I mean,
That's
tornadic
never
winds.
Below that.
That's like
With that
tornadic
Hurricane
winds. Like
Milton,
what tornado? What EF scale is that? I don't know off the top of my head. That's pretty up there though.
EF5, it starts at 200 miles an hour.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And there's no EF6.
And the point is,
yeah,
it's greater than that.
we're tapped out there. So
Anything more is just monster.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last thing I'll ask, just in general, would you ever consider visiting Mount Washington? I think I know Matt's answer, but I think everybody else, would you consider visiting?
yeah, I'd do it. I'd do it. No problem.
I would definitely do it.
It'd
I'd do
be.
it.
I just put on a big jacket and
I guess I
Go
would.
up there
I guess I'd try.
go up there, be surrounded by the history, and then leave. Like, I don't need to stay there. I don't need to live there. I don't even need to work there. Just visit. Cool. Peace.
But Austin, I
Yeah.
thought you liked cold weather though.
I do like cold. I don't want to be responsible for it. And and there, there might be some hypothermic, problems at that for long periods of time and whatnot. So it wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. It'd be a a vacation. It wouldn't be a permanent thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like one of those things to cross off like my bucket list. I did it. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Take
Yeah,
photo.
you need a bumper sticker for your truck.
There you go.
Mount Washington bumper sticker. There you go.
I got blown off top of mountain. And
I'm sure they have
still here.
T-shirts. I'm sure they sell T-shirts there that say something like that.
Like I survived. Yeah.
I survived Mount Washington or something.
I have to check it out. Maybe class field trip.
Yep. I mean, we could do it. We just got to get someone to cover weather.
We'll cover weather with all four of us gone.
We'll get one. We'll get someone else. We'll get I don't know.
We'll
Get Chris to
Steven
do it.
Get Chris
Chris-
to do it.
Yeah, jack of all trades, Chris Immersion.
Chris Virgin.
Oh.
That's fair. He does a lot. Does everything.
Yeah.
Steven would do it on the morning. Steven Maxwell.
Steven would do it. Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
He asked me for a one-word like weather forecast this morning. I just said fog.
I heard
Perfect.
it. I saw it.
Yep, I was on social media too. You should check it out.
Yep.
Anyways, all right, we're gonna go ahead and say goodbye. Hope you have a great rest of your February week. Enjoy the warm temperatures. Enjoy the sunshine. That'll be great. And yeah, we will talk to you next week again on the Met Chat. Thanks for coming on by. Thanks for all of our Mets for stopping on by too. See you later.
See ya. See ya.
All right, welcome back. First Alert with a breakdown. Just got to say quickly goodbye before Arclotex Artistry is coming up at 11. We'll see you again tomorrow, 10:30. We'll be talking about the severe weather threat of next Tuesday, and we'll be talking about how you can prep up yourself to prepare for that chance of severe weather next week. Again, that's tomorrow. Back on the First Alert with a breakdown. It will be back again tomorrow for your Thursday at 10:30. Be there, be square. Most importantly, be weather aware. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Peace.